Okay, so we now find outside the Storm Archer Joff's retainers, currently sitting a little dejected outside. Just on the street.
Outside.
What's going on here then?
Outside what?
Out there.
Outside the Storm Archer.
Which is a tavern.
Which
Is
is
the
where
inn.
It's
we were
the inn.
told we've been staying there before.
Baldric, come here. What's with the sullen face?
Well, my lord, I went in and got your room as he hands you the key, but it was 5 gold just for your room and a bath.
My goodness me, what I've done of this. Well, I guess you two will have to pay for your own rooms. I think there might be a stables about town somewhere. Faris is quite a good man at finding places to sleep out in the wilderness. Just think of this as an urban wilderness.
Fair enough. So you're gonna send the retainers off to go sleep in the streets, basically.
No, in the stables.
Or in whatever they can find.
Are there any stables?
You haven't seen any going through town yet.
Baldric, have you seen any stables?
No, my lord, I just came straight up through the markets past that big red and yellow thing.
Alright, you can sleep on the floor in my room. Come with me.
So you take your retainers upstairs to your room. As soon as you enter the Storm Archer, it's luxuriously appointed. It's got silk furnishings, large flowing hanging fancy tapestries. Everything is marvelously luxurious and fancy.
Well, it should do nicely. I'll see you chaps in the morning.
As you head up to your room, you notice there is a double bed, an ottoman, a sofa, and there is currently a serving girl in there heating you a bath.
Oh, well, I suppose I got room for the others here, haven't I?
And your
Patsy,
own
go
fire.
and fetch the 2 Ingrits.
Yeah,
Aye.
my own room.
I tell Patsy to come down and...
Patsy heads back down into the main thing as Gloin and Inspector Dots are, I assume, having a quick look around this incredibly opulent inn.
Yeah.
I was going to say, you hear as the man behind the front desk is greeting the guests ahead of you. Yes, we have the finest accommodation north of the Moonsea. Nowhere finer in all of the area. Now, as Patsy then comes running up to make Joff's offer to you. Here, you sleep in boss room.
No. I have my own room.
Okay, fair.
I'm sleeping on a sofa like some kind of peasant.
Fair enough. And Inspector Dots?
Inspector Dots will take a sofa.
Fair enough. I was going to say, so Inspector Dots and Patsy head back up to to Joff's room.
At which point I'm getting into my bath. In
Fair
full
enough.
view of everyone.
So you are a naked, portly orc sitting down in a warm bath as the serving girl just finishes filling it up.
I walk in and see this, and I'm a little bit flustered, but I kind of regain my composure. Is there a mirror or a sink in the...
There's a very fine vanity with a nice mirror installed.
I would like to walk up to it.
Mhm.
As I'm walking over, I'd like to gently remove like my leather armor and kind of place it in a kind of folded pile on the sides. I'll sleep in my clothes out of politeness, but I would like to approach this mirror. Is there a comb?
There is a small ivory comb attached to the desk on a small chain.
I would like to spend 15 minutes carefully grooming my moustache.
Fair enough. We will cut back to Gloin as you two are doing this. Gloin, you've approached the front desk. The 15 minutes on the mustache seems like a long time, but
Takes a lot of time. Care.
focusing back. The proprietor of the Storm Archer will say, Hello, welcome to the Storm Archer, finest inn north of the Moonsea. And what can I get for you, my fine dwarven gentleman?
I am Gloin, son of Gloin. I require a room.
Ah, I see. The local lord graces me with his presence. I'm surprised you're not staying back at your keep. Very well, I shall have our finest room prepared. At a discount rate, of course.
Oh, of course.
And that'll be 4.5 gold. And would you care for a bath and dinner to be served for another half gold, making it 5 round?
Aye, go on then. I'll take that.
As I say, as your things are taken by stewards who are immediately beginning to carry them up to the room for you. And would you care for anything else to be sent up, my lord?
A few jugs of ale. Do me.
Very good. I shall see them up there shortly. As you are shown up to the room. As you enter the room, you enter the presidential suite, basically. It's a double-sized room with a extra large king bed, 4 posters, veiled curtains of fine silk around it, depicting beautiful dragon patterns. The room itself has a balcony leading so you can see out across the ride, and as well as the personal fireplace which each room has, you have a fine vanity, a small sink in the corner, and many large soft like beanbag cushions to sort of like sink into.
Nice.
As brought up a few minutes after your arrival is 2 trays of very nice food, nice sharp fine cheeses, biscuits, cured meats, and freshly fried off steak, and your 2 jugs of ale as a serving girl arrives to begin warming you a bath, topless.
Nice. That's a lap of luxury. I think he'd
I was
pretty
gonna
much
say, that's-
scoff everything.
For someone who lived in the military, that's very luxurious.
Spent most of his time in a mountain.
Did you have a lockbox?
That was the rat.
I just remembered I've got knock.
That would be a good use for it. Yeah, so you guys can do anything you want here. You've got about however long you want before you go to sleep.
I would like
bath and all that.
Yeah.
to, having groomed my moustache, I want it to be known that not only was I grooming my moustache, I also cast Mage Hand and was using the Mage Hand to help groom my moustache.
So you've got doing it from like both sides at once.
Yeah.
Greggy, my good man, you're welcome to have the bathwater after me. I say as I get up.
No, it's quite all right. I'll take a bath in the morning. You know, the old moustache it puffs out if I bathe before bed.
Right, you are my intelligent friend.
I think I might do some studying. Just to wind down. See what I can learn in the meantime, if anything. Got an assortment of books if you'd like to borrow one.
Oh, yes, of course. Hand it to my esquire, Varys, over there. And he shall hold
What
it
you
for
like. I mean, and I don't even open my backpack to refer to this. I go, I've got a book on basic armor crafting, a book on improvised weapons, a book on simple potionry, a book entitled The Art of the Dagger, a book about how to trick and deceive people, a guide to forestry, quarrying, 1018, a fine. That's what it says. Oh, sorry. Yeah, it says 1018. 101. Oh yeah, 101, and then there's meant to be a space.
Oh, I see.
8. A fine gentleman's guide to Faust, a history of the ride, magic, erranty, tree.
Well, I have to say that I have been a farmer of sorts all my life, so I will take the book on forestry.
I would like to hand it to his retainer for him.
Fair enough.
Varys, you shall read this book to me as I fall asleep.
Oh God.
And
Okay.
I will sit on a chair for a few hours, maybe up until midnight, reading a book on basic armor crafting too.
Does that count
Uh,
as me reading the book?
those
If I
should-
get...
Yeah, I was gonna say, I'll say she have Faris read to you. I apologize for how that's been sent to you because it was supposed to be like line after line after line. Basic armor crafting, and then it was the next book was 2.
Yeah, I know, I was taking the piss.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say I didn't think I screwed up that much. Okay.
Obviously, I'd read the original before the sequel.
Fair enough. You spend the evening reading basic armor crafting. It basically has a list of basic blueprints and structural designs for every form of armor you can think of, including a rather. You read pretty quickly, don't you? Not a thick book. It's about 50 pages. Do you reckon you get through it in 2 hours?
Mate, like, I could get through that in 2 hours sober.
It's got a lot of diagrams and pictures and things as well, so if you're reading till about midnight, you'll get through the whole book.
And I've got a photographic memory for a month, so I would say, yeah, I'll get through that really quick.
Fair enough. You go through the book. It's got instructions on building every basic form of armor, so you now know recipes for all non-magical armors, how to structure them, and there's a fairly long section explaining why plate mail takes so long to make, because it has to be so carefully balanced between all the leather straps to distribute weight correctly. Or else you would just be immobile the entire time.
I see.
Moving over to Joff. Your Red Forestry 101, that was the quarrying. Let's say that was the quarrying one. A Guide to Forestry. It basically explains how to correctly deforest and regrow areas of forest so they're not damaged long term.
Okay. I shall put that in additional features and traits. Those how
Yeah,
to
it's
regrow
like-
forests.
It basically knows how to not ruin an entire landscape if you need some wood.
I guess Faris knows that as well because he read it.
Yeah, Ferris was reading it to you. So I'm also going to say Inspector Dots knows it too, because he's in the room.
Woo!
So you've picked up 2 books in that time.
Read a
Gloin,
book whilst listening to a book being read.
Aye.
That's
That's
how
it.
it is.
it's a perfect memory. It's quite convenient. Gloin, what do you want to be doing for the evening
I
after
think
your
he's just going to be eating and then having his bath, and then he will probably just
knock back his 2 jugs of ale?
yeah, and then fall asleep naked
Um,
as he makes use of the first warm bed he's probably had in a year,
Mm.
if not more.
completely reasonable. Okay, let's long rest, you guys.
No, don't.
Okay, and we can stop your concentration because 8 hours is now past.
Woo! The long
Um,
con pays off.
The long con pays off. Oh, dear. So, you awaken in the morning to Gloin. You awakened, you notice there is a fine smell of cooked bacon, eggs, sausage, freshly toasted bread with thick lavishings of butter, and a gentle smoky smell of something you don't quite recognize.
Wake and bake.
As I was gonna say, once you go over, you'll realise it's a nice smoked fish, freshly smoked.
Mm. Take him long to tuck in.
The other 2 wake to a more simple fare. For each of the members in the room, because they will have timed it out to that, so the 5 of you, Inspector Dots, Joff, 3 returns, yeah. There is simple bacon and eggs with a slab of bread and some fresh water drawn up in a jug.
I would like to take a little bit of that water and water my pot.
Ooh, okay, so it's the fresh day, so roll a d12 for me.
Yep.
Oh,
Oh, you get more pepper!
I
that
sprinkle.
works.
I
Bacon eggs.
sprinkle some pepper in my water.
I wouldn't mind some of that pepper on my bacon and eggs there.
I share the pepper with. Hold on. Is it fresh off the pot?
Peppercorns, yeah.
Yeah. It's just whole lumps of peppercorns.
You gotta crush them a little bit. But...
Grind it up.
Oh,
Pretty sure you have to dry it for like 6 months, but
Jeff, did you
that's
know?
fresh pepper, as
if only
opposed
we had a druid. If only we had the cantrip druid craft, then you could do it, man.
Jeff,
That-
did you
that's
know?
OP. Sorry.
My name is Jeff.
To make leather armor, you simply have to cure animal hide.
And to make hide armor, you just don't cure it.
Oh wait, are you talking to me?
Yeah.
You said Jeff.
What's your name?
My name is Jeff.
Joff.
Jeff.
Um,
Joff,
My name is
imagine he's
Jeff.
Jeff, but
well,
Scottish.
well, of course, I'm aware of the basics of armor crafting, but I've never been too interested in those sort of, peasant ways. I make wine. I could craft
Craig.
the finest wine you've ever seen.
What would have been the most obscure fact out of that book?
If it wasn't on the correct distribution of wheat through plate, it would be on the underlaying materials for scale very frequently being made out of not metal itself, but either further cured leather or sometimes simply cloth. It's
Would-
not an advanced book.
Yeah, would the book say what year this was first discovered? You know, like how a lot of things go, this technology was invented in 1476 by David Belton.
This is more like a blueprint. This is the sort of book which we give
Oh,
like an amateur blacksmith to like.
It's like a recipe book, like a cooking book.
Yeah.
Without the story about how this is your old grandma's recipe.
Yeah, pretty much. It's more about the physical and required parameters, not.
That quote about scale mail, I would like to repeat and verbatim to
Verbatim.
Geoff.
Verbatim.
That
Well, that's
is-
very interesting, my good man. I am proud to have you as one of my retainers.
You mean fellow lords? And I give him a sly wink.
Oh, well, yes, of course. Yes.
Oh.
Can I roll an insight check to see what he means by that?
Yes, you can.
I'm zoomed in on the village to try and get immersed, so I have to find myself.
Don't we all?
What did I say? Insight.
Insight 9. Do you want to? I was gonna say. You're not. I'll give this a general one. You're not quite sure what he means, but you have heard a lot of people calling him Lord recently.
And also bear in mind, I did explain
Oh,
this
this
whole
is true.
thing to my party twice.
You did.
Yes. You did. I'm allowing for his intelligence score.
I clearly remember that. Well, give the makings of a lord to me. So you are a lord.
Would like to roll
Something.
sleight of hands,
Okay.
and using sleight of hands,
Are you trying to steal the comb for your mustache?
I would like to pocket the comb for my moustache.
It is attached to a chain.
Um,
Can I contest this roll?
You want to try and stop him stealing from the inn?
I'm not actively, but with my passive, whatever.
I mean, sure, you can
Passive-
try and
Passive
slip.
perception, right? So
Passive perception versus his sleight of hand trying to slip it off. He's also got to actually pass to slip it off the chain somehow.
yeah. I'm just saying, I want to know that if I notice it.
Fair enough. Okay. 14. With your passive perception, you do not. And with a 14, you cannot get the comb off the chain without damaging it.
can
You would
I add some flair to this? And although he does not see me do this, when it becomes immediately clear it's attached to the chain and I can't get it off the chain, I'm making an almighty noise. And he does notice, and I go, "Oh, bollocks to it."
What the bloody hell are you doing over there?
I don't have a bloody comb!
Well, if you don't have a comb, just take that one. And I
It's-
point to the comb that he's holding in his hand.
It's attached to a bloody chain. You've been treated like fucking commoners.
Oh my god. I'm a little bit offended, to be sure.
It's like being in a
Baldric-
bank. Can't even
Baldric,
trust me with a pen.
Varys, go find the maitre d'. Tell her we need a comb.
I would like to say, I did mention it was an ivory comb, right? This thing's probably cost more than the room did for the night.
Konaki, although he is quite intelligent and quite wise, and is an inspector for his local village and surrounding area, has probably never seen ivory in his life.
I'll try and pull the comb off then.
Sure, just make an athletic check.
Bear in mind that I have also sent my retainers to go
Yep, I'm aware. So,
and just need to find myself again.
How much would you say it's worth?
21.
it's probably worth about 50 gold pieces. 21. Yep, you just snap the chain in half, halfway down.
Well, there you go, my good man. No problem here. No problem here. Baldric, Varys, come back. I shout up.
So they just go out to like the balcony as you've done this. It's just like, oh, they head back inside there. It's like,
How much
Yeah.
gold did you say?
it's worth about 50 gold pieces. It's
Nice.
expensive.
Nice. Right,
Also, you're
Hold on.
stealing from a facial
hold on. Right, no, shut your fucking face. I then place this comb in my pocket and I turn to Joff and I go, "Thank you, it's so nice to have a comb. I suppose we
Yeah,
ought to
Someone like us, we can't walk around without a comb. You know, we paid for this room, so
yes, and
we've every right to everything in this room.
I must admit I feel a little guilty, and although I don't have the financial means to reimburse them for now,
Guilty.
maybe this will do.
Hold on a
And
second.
I
now.
would like to cast a performance of creation and create a replica comb.
You create a replica cone. You can't create a replica chain, so it looks like you snapped it off and left it there.
Yeah, that's just a bit of room damage. That's a whole different ball game.
Also,
Minor
as a quick
vandalism.
note,
Are you gonna
your
hand me the
performance of
comb?
creation only lasts 2 hours.
You gonna hand me the comb?
No, it's for my moustache.
No, the replica comb.
I can do. We might get billed if there's no comb in the room.
No, you're gonna hand it to me to put back on the thing because I just gave you the other comb.
Yes.
Why are you giving me this comb back, you fool? I just bloody broke the chain.
As you take the comb, you do hear a particular melody blast in your eardrums.
I'd like to roll an insight check. and work out what that is.
Why that one?
A lot of plagiarism going on here.
I was gonna say, have you considered just picking up a guitar?
Right.
Insight, does that beat the... That doesn't say. You cannot tell it's a replica.
You telling me you don't want the comb?
He can tell it's a replica because it also is sparkling.
Mm.
I think so, anyway.
I thought it was insight.
I,
Yeah, it glimmers softly,
I
and
can't
they hear
tell-
music when they touch it.
I can't tell the difference. I mean, I rolled a 7, so...
Fair.
You telling me you don't want the comb?
I take the other comb out of my pocket and go, "I do. You must know I'm a magic man."
I look at the comb in my hand, and then look at his comb.
Yours looks nicer because it glimmers. And I'm also, this whole debacle, I completely forgot I could create items. So I didn't need the comb.
Somebody's afoot here. What is this? Why are there 2 combs when there was just one?
Jarf, my good sir, I'm a magician.
Jarf.
You
Jarf.
aren't some kind of a padfoot, are you? Some kind of a sneak thief? trying to trick me into helping you steal this kind lady's ivory combs?
I would like to cast I can't even pronounce it, for fuck's sake.
Prestidigitation.
That's it. And I would like to say to him, in a booming voice, oh shit. Do not take me for some conjurer of cheap tricks. I am not trying to rob anyone. I just want to groom my moustache.
Oh, dear.
Now you can just create a replica every time you need to.
Yeah,
No, that's what I forgot. I'd already committed.
Yeah.
I've made
You've
a
already
scheme.
committed larceny.
Yeah.
It's interesting because I should really just accept that my character wouldn't take kindly to being intimidated.
Oh god. Fight to the death, player versus player.
I'm gonna say,
Oh, come on, listen, you fool. We spent far too much time arguing over some insignificant comb. What is wealth to somebody who is of high standing like myself?
and I tossed the glowing comb on the floor. Comb? Wait, comb as well.
Cancun.
And comb. Okay.
Right, well, we best be on our way.
Off we go then.
You make your way out of the room, and I assume you're going to use the key you were given to lock up behind you.
Certainly.
I'm gonna give that to whoever, Paris.
Paris, okay. See that, Paris.
I never had it. I never touched it.
Oh, Baldric gave you the keys you were heading up, but yeah.
Oh, okay. I gave it to Paris.
Paris will lock the room up as the lot of you head down. Gloin, while they were doing this, anything you wanted to do other than scarf breakfast?
No, I don't think so. Nothing in particular.
Oh, can it be assumed we did eat our...
Yeah, you had your bacon and eggs.
Yeah.
I think you just make sure he's got his armor back on, and
Oh, yeah. You spend 10. You're in chain, aren't you?
yeah,
So you spend 10 minutes fitting that.
he's got to put his clothes on first. But
And I would have
Oh,
had
yeah.
a bath as well before I comb my moustache in the morning.
Fair enough. I was going to say, you, on the other hand, only have to spend a minute donning light armor.
You
Okay.
could have got in your armour 15 times and it takes me to comb my moustache.
I have help getting in my armor, so surely.
As I say, with help, I'll say it takes you 5 minutes. But it still takes 5 minutes.
Get the breastplate structure!
No, my
Yeah.
armor is designed for me. Before this happened, I was a rich man.
Okay. You make your way downstairs, and the proprietor is still behind the desk from last night. The same guy doesn't seem to have moved. Like, aha, gentlemen, how was your stay? Gloin,
Oh!
Gloin will have you come down slightly later. Just a minute or two, so I can do those two first, and then.
Well, it was very nice. Bathtub. Gorgeous as always, my good sir. We're just going to chip off. We're actually on the hunt, you see. The wild hunt for the mayor. Don't suppose you can point us in the right direction, my good sir?
Doesn't say. About 500 yards behind the tavern. You'll find his manor just there. Largest building in town. Can't miss it.
And with that, I would like to cast Prestidigitation
Prestidigitation. Yes.
and leave the room smelling slightly like strawberries.
Okay.
But not nice strawberries, like the artificial strawberries, like body
Oh,
butter strawberries.
Yeah, I was going to say, I'm familiar with the artificial strawberry smell. At which point, Gloin will be heading down the stairs from the opposite direction. So it's like, aha, good
Hello.
sir lord, how was your evening?
It's fine.
And was everything to your satisfaction, or would next time you stay, perhaps you'd prefer a different girl?
I want a taller one.
Interesting.
My Sue.
So, that was me saying interesting, not the guy behind the counter as well.
Yeah. That's Glowin's thing now, I think.
He wants taller and taller women.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Okay, I see. I'll see what we can have arranged for you, sir. Would you perhaps care for anything else before you go? And will you be staying again tomorrow night? We can keep the room reserved for you. I'll say, he'll pour you up in a little thing, like a travel mug.
Hey.
Will you be
Maybe
staying
come back
again?
again?
Oh, can I come back in?
Sure.
Well, Glowin's going to start walking away, so you're welcome. Yes.
I'm walking away here. I'm walking away.
Get out of it.
Like, maybe I was just loitering out the door and I heard that little snippet of a conversation about the room being satisfactory.
Yeah. Sure.
And I'd like to approach the man.
Okay.
And
You stand there and say, yes, sir.
I actually had a small problem with the room. It's nothing major. Don't worry yourself. Like, I know you're used to hosting nobility here. But upstairs, near the mirror, there's an ivory comb, and it appears to be broken off its chain. Don't know what's going on there, but it's weird, and I didn't expect to see damage in a room that I'm staying in.
Can I roll perception to see if I see him doing this?
I mean, if you're still in the room, you're there for this conversation. You hadn't left, he left.
17.
17. Yep. You can hear this conversation going on.
I would like to approach him. Oh no, that's the ivory comb I broke off for you.
I'll say, he's gonna look a little suspiciously at the two of you.
Punch him.
I am going to immediately turn to Joff, and go, no. There appears to be some kind of misunderstanding here. And I will turn back to the barkeep and say, I'm gonna fucking do it. I suggest there might have been some kind of accident upstairs. I was combing my moustache, you see, and my good friend, you know how us nobles get. He had he had a bit too much spice, you see, a bit rough-handed. And while I was combing my moustache, he just gave me a slight nudge. This nudge was enough to knock the chain clean off.
And that's suggestioning it, is it?
Yep.
Okay.
But that's
Each
not
one.
how I remember it happening.
I'll say, thankfully, due to suggestion, and that too, he says, oh, I see. We'll get that put straight back on.
Brilliant, thank you. It might be worth doing it as soon as you know how these things are. Like,
We'll
don't
have
wanna-
the maid
you don't-
turn
you-
down the room soonish.
yeah, you don't want another noble or anyone of import to stroll in here suddenly wanting a room and for it to be damaged. I must sincerely apologise for this, and I will offer to cover any repair costs. And I would like to hand him 5 gold.
I would
5
like to,
gold for just
I
the
would like to
chain.
attempt to stop
For
him.
just the chain. Yep.
Can I stop him?
You can stop him if you want to.
I would like to say, frankly, sir, I am offended that you think nobles such as ourselves should have to explain ourselves for such an incident. And
I'd like to
why
s-
my friend here is offering to pay you.
I'd like to
Is
point
that
out,
the kindness of his heart.
he never asked for any explanation. You guys just ran in and started explaining stuff to him.
Well, I don't pay attention, so I make a lot of
This is a fair
assumptions.
point. Oh, dear. It's just get
Here,
from his
keep your
point of view.
money. Come on, we'll go. But perhaps I won't recommend you to my lordly friends.
Oh, dear.
Um,
He's going to be standing a little confused at this point because he knows both half of the conversation. As you guys make your way out of the tavern.
wait, did I or did I not pay him?
No, I'm going to say the Viscount pulled you away. Considering your weight, he can just pull you along.
I would like to, as we walk away, and I don't know whether this would be sleight of hand or what,
Mm.
but I would like to cast Mage Hands and drop the money on the floor, scoop it up, and fly it over.
That's,
Fair enough.
I
It would be a
want
stealth
insight.
check by a mage hand against his passive perception.
Passive perception.
But it's by a mage hand,
You have to be
so the
named.
mage hand gets a 2. So you do notice, you hear the coins ring out and hear them being scooped up.
Jesus Christ, lad! If you've got money to throw around, you want to pay these peasants their weight in gold. You don't have to hide it from me.
I'm sorry. I felt I felt guilt. For the first time in my life, I felt perhaps my action was not true to my character.
Well,
Just for a
I'm still,
mustache comb.
I'm still trying to work out what your character is, but somehow I sense that you haven't done evil in the past. So we can work together and get vengeance.
Yes.
Okay. I assume that's the three of you now out of the inn and heading towards the mayor's house. Considering
In
you're
the
not-
inn.
Leave the
Yeah.
out instead. Sorry,
Sorry, was that a yes from everyone? Unless they want to do anything else in the markets or anything,
maybe.
which are opening back up.
Oh, I would like to do one thing in the market.
Sure. We'll head that way first, and you can then head straight out.
Yeah, actually, can I?
I don't mind skipping through it if no one else wants to do anything there.
Yeah, me also.
Okay, we can skip through. That's fine. What do you want to do?
I literally want to sell my chest and swap it for a backpack.
Let me just double check the cost of both items, and I shall be right with you.
Because carrying around a chest on my back does not sound like a good idea.
Backpack
You
is
might want to
2
RP.
gold. A chest is 5 gold. So you can swap that like for like, but you're not getting any money back on it.
Yep, no, it's fine.
I'd like to sell a Moon Touch Greatsword
Ooh.
and a Vanilla Great Axe.
Okay, so great axe.
While you're doing that, I'll have another wee.
Also,
Right.
what's this exquisite necklace I have? Maybe I should sell that.
I think you picked that up during the thing. Exquisite necklace. Here you are. Okay, so a great axe you'll be able to sell for 10 gold pieces,
Nice.
and a moon touch.
By me selling, I mean I hand it to.
You've probably got a higher
He sells.
charisma modifier than he does.
I hand it to him.
Fair enough.
So
With his, you will get 57 gold pieces for that.
for the Moon Touch Greatsword.
Yeah.
And finally, the other thing. which
The exquisite
was-
necklace, which I've got on the loot table, I think, from the fortress. Exquisite necklace. Value of 50 total, so you'll be offered 35. And are you having Faris selling it?
Yeah.
So that'll just be the 35 flat.
Alright, so that's 79 plus 35 is 114.
114 total made, yeah?
And I will give him 3 gold pieces
Fair.
for the service.
Fair enough. Okay, and with your quick business concluded, you make your way up to the mayor's house. Or manor. As you do, you can see there are several guards on station outside the point. They're not stopping anyone else or anyone at all, really. They're just keeping an eye out. So you walk past them without incident and make your way up to the mayor's front door. There is a large bell hanging from a rope just outside.
There appears to be a large rope
I was
hanging.
going to
from
say,
a
if you want to
pillar.
ring, do you want to ring the doorbell? Basically,
I would like
Sorry, I
to
forgot what we were
command.
doing.
I will command. Baldric can ring the doorbell.
okay. Good time.
What were we doing?
Okay.
I
Sorry,
thought
I'm
we
just.
understood from the other bits. But...
I'm just going to have a quick thing of this. They're just up to the manor now.
Okay. Glowing is following.
Uh,
It's not
yeah.
clear.
So, as you have Faris ring the bell, hopefully this should come out now. The bell of the bell rings throughout the area very, very loudly. How long is that? 25 seconds. That shouldn't be too long. He seems to have got a little carried away because I thought that was going to be once. As the bell rings, you're greeted by an elderly servant who appears to be either a human or a half-elf, but he's so old it's very hard to tell if his pointed features are just because he's very thin or more because he's just slightly elvish. And he greets the group. Yes, how can I help? Holding the metal tray in front of him. Currently, nothing on it. Am I speaking?
Yes.
See?
Sorry, I was waiting for one of you to pick up after the
We're,
butler has said, yes, how can I help?
we're just looking for a quick chat with the mayor.
Of
We
course.
bumped into him earlier. I mean, he must be expecting us.
Of course. I shall show you through to the lounge. Follow me, as he slightly stammers his way through this conversation.
Okay, stuttering Simon.
So he begins slowly shuffling through. The man's got to be, if he was in a human in his 80s, to be doing this job still. It's quite impressive. He shows you through to a grand reception room. It's got big puffy sofas, and it's got a small table, and he says, I'll be back with his lordship. Can I ask who's calling?
The Lords of the Realm.
Well, my name's Viscount Joffredus Avalain. These are my retainers. This is a companion who is travelling with us, as I point to the dwarf. We would
Glowing
like to
son of
speak to the
Gloin.
mayor.
Very,
Lloyd Tulloch.
I shall be back with him in a moment, as he makes his way out of the room, which takes the better part of a minute. As the door closes behind him, you're left alone in this room for a short while. Does anyone want to look around at anything? You've got
I would.
General.
make perception checks for me. 12 and 4. Okay. With a 4, you're not going to spot a lot other than the fact it's a very nice room. With a 12, you can see there's a tapestry depicting an event if you want to have a closer look.
Oh, yeah. And I'll point it out to the others if they
Yeah, that's fine.
wish to
Um,
browse.
As you go over the tapestry, it seems to show the events of something which happened here, according to the small sectioning of words, about 10 years ago, during which, when they were being raided by bandits, the Earth itself decided to save them as it erupted as a volcano. As it turns out, the entire Whitehall Mountain is actually an active volcano that just
Wow.
doesn't erupt very often. This there is also a small section which you're not quite sure what it's depicting. You can see the burning raiders, and you can see the saved townsfolk where the lava pulled away from the town, leaving nothing but black stone in its wake. And there appears to be a bunch of very small people who were also burned by this lava, but they don't seem to be part of the raiders.
Mm.
That's what you're going to get from the tapestry. Pictures don't always make things clear.
No. It's not stonework, so I can't get any more out of it.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Okay, a few moments later, the mayor is going to arrive. The short gnome is going to, with the white beard and long, bushy eyebrows, is going to walk through, twirling them into fine position, doing his very best to look as dignified as he can first thing in the morning. And say, hello. I'm surprised you came to see me so soon. I figured you'd have business. I thought you had business at the fort.
Oh, we did.
Yes, you could call that business, I suppose. There was a situation of the fort, and the fort is now gone.
Oh my. Well, why don't you sit down and tell me about it? As he directs you to the sofas.
I would like to go sit on the sofa with my notepad at the ready.
And I assume you're recanting what happened.
Yes, but only at the fort, and I will gloss over the fact that we don't believe we're actually lords.
Okay.
But I will mention the situation we have recently had at the castle.
And out of interest, are you also mentioning, just so we can breeze through this slightly, the names of the god avatars?
I am not going to mention the god avatars, but I will mention that the man was no man and turned green and attacked us.
Okay.
So I will leave that a little bit vague, I think.
That's fine. Okay, he is going to look deeply and say, "This is very worrying. First bandits retake the mountaintop, and now giants attack the fortress, killing all of the men, and one of them may have been in cahoots with the giants."
It certainly seems that way.
And you say there's been strange going on up at the castle.
Yes. Perhaps stranger still, from what I've been able to disclose, but I'm sure you appreciate these are strange times, and I do believe we do need to have an aura of cautiousness.
I see.
As
Well,
I cast Prestidigitation and let a chill gust of wind blow through the room.
I would like to use my divine sense.
okay. The butler is possibly the most evil man you've ever met, but the mayor's perfectly fine.
The butler is the most evil man I've ever met.
It does it by like strength, so people smell worse the more evil they are, and he smells like sulfur and brimstone.
I would like to walk towards this butler.
The old man with the metal tray is quivering slightly, just standing there. Yes, would you care for some tea?
I don't suppose you are a follower of the old gods?
I am not a follower of any gods. I merely serve my lord.
Your lord.
Surely we're the lords.
You're the lords of the area. He serves the mayor, who he calls his lord.
Well, let me tell you that my lord is a man who happens to go by the name of Whore. You heard of him?
I'm afraid not. I am not well travelled.
He's the
And
god
when
of
I did,
revenge.
I would like to cut him off.
ooh, interesting. Um, At the mentioning of the word revenge, you notice his hands stop shaking.
Do I?
As in, literally, this tray has been shaking the whole time, and it's stopped as you've mentioned it, as if he's suddenly come over very, very calm and still.
I bid thee. Have you done something wrong in the past? I can sense it.
As I say, the mayor himself at this point is going to give out a quick and quiet chuckle. It's like, my good man, do sit down. He hasn't done anything wrong for many, many years, but his past life was one that's best not touched upon.
And I suppose I'm to trust you that he's paid for these evil doings.
He has served me here for the last 50 years.
I can tell you that through the faith of my God, I can detect a great evil upon this man. I don't know if it's something that a mortal being can punish him for.
Then you will leave it to the hands of the divine in the afterlife.
Yes. But when should he see this afterlife?
I was going to say, if you're planning to kill my servant in here, I will have to ask for his weight in gold.
I'll not kill your servant, just know that he's evil.
I was going to say, evil's a broad term.
I'll be done with it now. I'll not look upon this man again.
You will if you come to the door of the mayor's house again, but sure. He answers
I
the
can
door.
close my eyes.
I would argue that should we, as your lord, dictate that we would not like this man in our company, that you yourself would answer the door.
I have far too much to be getting on with, but well, I wouldn't take him
May
off
I
his duties.
remind you that you owe your allegiance to the lords of the realm?
I do, and I pay my taxes and will serve if necessary. However, I do not believe that even the Lord should dictate what I do in my own home.
Ah, you see, we appear to be at an impasse. Gentlemen to our... No.
You're welcome to
that
try,
case-
because the butler's going to kill the
Ew.
three of you in a couple of
In
seconds.
that case, sir, I demand to know what crimes this man has committed and what justice he has faced.
This man, as he takes a quiet moment, and he asks the butler to leave the room.
He's a pedo, isn't he?
No! Why would you
Those are
assume?
sulphur and brimstone. Pretty nasty.
I was going to say, as the butler leaves the room, he invites you all to sit again to calm down for a moment.
I'm calm, dude. I'm already calm.
Chill, man.
I was gonna say, he takes a moment and walks over to the tapestry and begins pointing out the features I mentioned before, explaining that during the last bandit raids, when hundreds and hundreds of the people of the village were slaughtered and brutally murdered, Simon, the butler, because you've named him, because I was just calling him the butler up until this point, used his incredible magic skills to cause the volcano to erupt. Back when he was an adventurer and,
What a cunt.
a mage. However, he did this knowing, and then he points to the section you couldn't quite understand at the far end, the small people also burning from the lava, to the fact that he knowingly destroyed a place called Undercity, which was a deep gnome settlement inside the mountain, by doing so, killing all the innocents there to save the rest of the town.
Truly selfish act. And what crime? I mean, what punishment has he taken for this crime?
He has served the entire region, selflessly, as an adventurer for many years, and now he serves as my butler and personal guard.
You mean as a free man?
He did nothing anyone else would not have done to save the ones they love.
I'll only not contest this for the fact that you are a fellow Lord of the Realm.
He's the mayor. He's an elected official, but he's been elected every year for the last 100 years.
Fellow elected official who's been elected for the
Yeah,
some
as I say, he's the long-time
steward,
mayor.
steward of the realm.
He will serve here until his dying days, as he swore he would in penance.
And when he dies, my god Hor will look upon him and find if his punishment has truly befitted his crime.
Very well. As he invites you to stay for lunch at this point. Actually, no, it's only just gone.
Oh,
Breakfast when
that's
you
a
left.
good idea.
Let's say,
Nice
mid-morning
bit of turkey.
brunch. Brunch, we'll call it brunch. Um,
Oh, well, yeah, that was a bit of a hard morning of debate. Perhaps we should settle it with some turkey and capons and
Uh,
potatoes.
and I think we'll call the session there 'cause it's coming close to 10.